I'm reading this cool adventure called Magium, and it's actually a kind of a game. It's a text adventure RPG. It's a kind of choose your own adventure where you at times need to choose what you do and the story will develop compared to your choices. And the cool thing about this fantasy adventure called Magium, there are so many vegan messages in the story. There are so many the drama and the development of the characters is amazing, and I like stories like that just to relax the brain and just to think about something else sometimes. So I think it's a good thing to read something else than modern literature, for example. So it's a good way for me to relax and to think about other things. Currently in this fantasy world, there is a war between animals and other people, because at some point people needed to start hunting for animals because they weren't able to uh, create food out of magic with their magic, because some of their elders died and the knowledge was lost to create food. So now they needed to start hunting animals again, and that was very frustrating for both the humans and the animals. At some point there was there were powerful magical mages and creatures that can just evaporate whole cities. A whole city was destroyed because there was a certain magical creature that disliked the way humans behaved, and he just dislikes and hates humans. So he destroyed the whole city. And where I am now, these adventurers, there's like a group of people that adventure together at this time, and they enter a city where there are nobles and there are slaves, human slaves, and there is a little girl being beaten by this noble man, like a little girl like 15 years old, and the noble is about to kill the girl, and this magical creature will give one of the party members the ability to stop that fight and rescue the girl. The question is, if you save, at some point, should you interfere with the actions of other people when something is happening like that or not? So I chose to save that slave with the group members, and then the magical creature then asks, will you there are thousands of slaves in this city that are that may not even live another day. Should I only just save one slave and just leave the rest behind, or should I also try to save them in some way? And in this particular part, I answer in the adventure that I want to try to save them all. And that made me thinking of, this is exactly what humans do, also some vegans do. We try to save one animal, but there's so many animals dying all the time, and we're just trying to figure out how to save them all. But it's like impossible. um, it's very hard to know how to save them all, because if you only you're just like a hypocrite if you just save one animal and not save them all. It's the same in the movie Okja, where they save one animal, one living creature, save one, and the rest are left to die at the slaughterhouse. So how I understand why so many people, many vegans are so angry. It's just so hard to stay calm, because you save, maybe you save one or two or three, and you can maybe you make some people go vegan, but it's so hard to accept that so many are left there without help. Like some of them are starving. They don't have food. They don't have water. They're in cages. They don't have a choice. They don't know how to. They cannot speak the human language. So it's sometimes I think that this game Magium is like written by Gary Yurovsky or something, because like Gary Yurovsky, he hates all humans, uh, and I don't hate all humans, but I understand why other people may hate humans, because it's so frustrating that it's the comparison of like slaves and the wars with animals, and this magical creature, he just says that like questions the other characters in this group, because some of these are mages that are not human. So mages are not human, and there are some of these mages that want to protect the humans, and this magical creature that has destroyed a whole entire city because they were just brutal against animals. The magical creature then asks the mage, why do you want to protect people, these humans that are so cruel against slaves, that can, why do you have empathy? Why do you feel anything for these humans that just destroy other human lives? In essence, the magical creature is trying to tell us that we are worthless and we don't have any purpose in our lives if we just look away when unjust things are going on. So we are just like the biggest hypocrites when we just like close our eyes and say, okay, that's not my problem. Like the noble would be well overpowered by the people walking around not doing anything while the noble is hurting the animal. They could easily overpower the noble. There will probably be some consequences. They might die. But is it worth living in a lie? I encourage you to read Magium or play Magium and get inspired by this magical world, and it may trigger some thoughts in your head.